Well, guys, I'm sure you've all heard by now that the Labour councillor Ricky Jones was cleared of inciting violence despite us literally having video of it.
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all!
Yeah, apparently calling for your political opponent's throats to be cut in large crowds is not inciting violence under UK law, because this insane verdict has literally gave it legal precedent, which is essentially how our legal system barely functions.
It is to Madame Justice that I dedicate this concerto in honor of the holiday she seems to have taken from these parts, and in recognition of the impostor that stands in her stead.
Now, obviously, many of us expected some form of stitch-up, but since it was the jury that cleared him, I expect proving any back-alley shenanigans will be very hard or impossible for anyone. That doesn't mean they didn't happen, because my money would be on some sort of back-alley bullshit being involved here. But really, the lesson of this should be don't be fucking pleading guilty for public order bullshit relating to protests, and certainly not when the government's running around calling everyone
far right.
Since, based on this verdict, every single person arrested for non-violent protest or post last year would have been acquitted by a jury in less than 30 minutes. Since this, for me, is far more likely to incite an idiot to violence than a bloody tweet is, and they cleared him of it that quickly, I heard.
Welcome to the future.
Which does really make me wonder what sort of legal advice all the protesters that went straight guilty last year got. I know the police tell them to confess and all that so they get less time in prison, but to what degree did that happen, and was the solicitor involved? Because if he can beat this charge here, then I would bet any of them could beat their charge in a jury trial, and advice to go guilty would be what got them put in prison if that was the case. Or this jury was specially selected, but I've got no evidence of that, have I, yet? Now, I have seen a lot of people comparing this with Lucy Connolly, and while there are similarities, the major difference is the fact the jury cleared him, not the judge. Her going guilty ended any chance of that happening and allowed her to be made an example of by the state, which obviously she was. That one difference there, though, prevents this being a case of the two-tier justice we all know exists, and maybe it was designed that way, because if a guilty verdict would have been handed down and anything less than 31 months in prison would have been the sentence, it would have been a case of two-tier justice and the outrage would have been fucking biblical. But as I've said previously, I do think some shifty shit has gone on here, but what I think and what I can prove are two different things. Obviously, this outcome will embolden the left going forward, I'm willing to bet, because if they didn't know it before, they certainly know now that the legal system's on their side. And in case you didn't know, it's not on your side, so don't ever think it is.
Pandemic